Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for another round of raucous roustabouting through the trails and tunnels of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. Hopefully this run will prove itself a little more fiscally responsible than our last trip into the dungeon, since at the beginning of that one we were down to a massive 5 whole gold pieces. Now, I don't know how the finances of the rest of the world run, but here in the hamlet, the only thing 5 gold pieces is going to get you is a sneer from the tavern keeper, a gob full of his spittle, and a one-way ticket to the gutter outside, because ain't nobody drinks for free here in the Perfidious estate. Fortunately, though, even though we were out of gold, the hamlet here runs on an entirely death-based economy, so the only thing required to fix our terrible financial woes was to risk our lives and limbs in mortal combat, and then just like that, bam, 10,830 gold, and we're richer than Croesus. The swings here in Perfidious Manor are just huge, just huge. Even Matt Damon and John Malkovich would quail at these sorts of swings. Sort of actually makes me wish the real world ran on kind of a death-based economic system. Now, arguably some of you out there are saying it does run on a death-based economic system, but I mean on a more literal basis. Like, let's say, hypothetically, you're in New York City and you need some extra cash for, a slice of pizza or a delicious cart-warmed hot dog, or just a fling as a distraction at one of the bands of cannibal lunatics roving through Central Park. But all you've got in your pocket is, a syringe full of smack and your trusty switchblade. Now, of course, you could probably sell the heroin, perhaps even to the cannibals in the park, and make a quick buck that way, but in a death-based economy, you wouldn't have to bother. Instead, you just hop on the subway, ride on out to, say, Hoboken, and, start murdering people from the bridge and tunnel set. Now, of course, being from New Jersey, I mean, they're going to put up a fight. They're going to scrap for their lives. They're going to fight back, but as long as you're victorious in your battle, once you've finished your killing spree, you just go through their pockets, take their keys, cell phones, cash, and other valuables, and then go about the rest of your day. Head back, grab your pizza, buy a hooker, whatever. And if you lost, well, whoever killed you would just do the same to you. They'd just loot your body, and then that'd be it. They'd sort of get on about their business. Entirely death-based economy. And think about it. You had a neighbor you didn't like, just one day, you'd camp him. You just set up outside his door, and when he walked out of his house to go to work, bam, shotgun to the face, and then suddenly you've got all the cash you need. I think a death-based economy really would solve a lot of our problems. So, something to think about. Speaking of problems, by the way, we've got a couple problems here that I'm going to do something about. Old Dr. Moreau and Hannibal Lecter are, I don't want to say they're boat anchoring us, but if we were a boat, they would be a big, giant, jagged chunk of metal that was sort of chained to the hull that periodically we threw overboard to keep us from drifting away. Because good goddamn, they're really loading us down. And I don't like plague doctors at all. Their ability set is not good. They're supposed to kind of fill in as a sort of emergency healer. The problem is their heals are never good, and the buff from emboldening vapors simply is not powerful enough to really justify their place in the party. So, as much as it pains me, I think we're going to have to say goodbye to old Dr. Moreau here. And also the fair Hannibal Lecter. He's going the way of the dodo. I guess Clarice Starling is finally going to get a chance to get her man, so farewell, noble friends. I'd say you'd be missed, but fuck it, let's face it, that's a lie. Ain't nobody gonna miss you. We don't really give a shit that you're gone at all. Not even a little. And instead, well, I was hoping to pick up another healer. We could use another seeker. What abilities does Rebu have? Oh, no. Improved balance is okay. Second wind is reasonable. Wicked Hack, Yop, Breakthrough, and she does not have any of the... we could probably afford to pass on her. I wouldn't mind picking up another Hellion, but I'm not overly enthused with the sort of initial investment that would be required to make Rebu sort of worthwhile. We already have plenty of bounty hunters. I mean, Django's already rank 1. I don't really feel we need another of those, and we don't really need a Seeker. Lepers, I'm, again, not really a huge fan of, so I think maybe we'll hold off on re-recruiting to fill our 2 empty slots for Dr. Moreau and the now-gone Hannibal Lecter. And in the meantime, we're just going to head on into the embarkation point here and see what kind of missions we've got. A short veteran mission in the Warrens. Well, that's probably what we're going to do. We've got to level up the Warrens. We've never completed successfully a mission in the Warrens. We've been in there twice. Both times we've limped out with our asses handed to us in a sack. And I think it's time we go in there and actually get some shit done. So we do have to complete 100% of room battles. I'm confident that our A-team, who not only could use some experience here, but also has the best chance of pulling out the victory, I'm confident that they can get this done for us. It's time we showed the Warrens who was boss. You know, all the Warrens. Warren Harding, Warren G, of course. Those, really the only two Warrens that... Oh, Warren Beatty, certainly. We got to show fucking Dick Tracy who's boss. Arguably it's Dick Tracy, but, you know. Yeah, all you Warrens, be on notice. We're coming to get you. So let's provision up our team here. Also, the rewards for this mission, 2 portraits, which we can use, and 5,000 gold, which is princely sum, really. So let's get to provisioning. Food. Gonna go heavy on food. We're not gonna get a camp, which, you know, has drawbacks and benefits. We won't need necessarily as much food. I'm still gonna take 20. I'm going heavy on the food. I'm gonna take 3 shovels, a key, and probably, let's say, we'll go with 10 torches. 10 torches for a short mission should be good, even if we have to do the whole thing. I think that's probably going to be it for consumables. We don't need to worry about any skills or abilities or armor or weapon upgrades, of course, because our A-team, fully upgraded. They are already ready, locked, loaded, prepared, and eager to go out to, you know, Comic, New Jersey and start killing passersby and robbing them. Death-based economy, folks. That's effectively what they're doing. The Warrens is a lot like, you know, Connecticut. They're just gonna take the train out there and murder. This dungeon layout sucks. It really does. We're gonna have to be, well, we have to do 100% of room battles. We're gonna have to backtrack, or at least recover ground, if not backtrack. So let's just, let's not dither, let's just get to work. What the hell are you? A large corpse eater and a slavering ghoul. Well, this is some very stiff initial resistance. Also, we are out of position because Half-Cock Jack is not where he needs to be. Can you bleed? Almost no. Can you bleed? You're more vulnerable to bleeding, and also the slavering ghoul has the stress attack. I would prefer to kill the ghoul first. I don't know what this thing can do. I mean, fuck, it looks horrifying. Some kind of elder abomination from beyond the moon, but I am familiar with what the slavering ghoul has on offer, and if I'm going to kill somebody, I would prefer it be him. What about a stun? Absolutely resistant? Largely resistant. Well, let's just get some damage then. Which one of you is going to do more? 5 to 9, what do you got? 3 to 6. Alright, well, 5 to 9 seems good. It should do extra damage, and this guy is unholy. Of course, it'll miss, so it's going to do effectively nothing. A skull toss? Is that damage and stress? You know, Randolph Carter, he's bumped into this kind of thing before. I mean, shit, Randolph Carter may actually be this thing, just sort of in like a larval stage. Although, this kind of looks like the larval stage of whatever that might be. I digress, however. He's seen this kind of shit before. He's not going to be too terrified of it. And we actually made a positive stress gain, actually, on that one. We're going to Holy Lance. Boom! Roderick Usher with a thunderous blow. Even the narrator was fucking impressed by that one, and I have to say, rightly so. Oh man, it's got like an alien mod. Did you see that? It's got like the nictating jaws coming in there. This thing is fucked up. Alright, well, we're gonna vulnerability hex it. Randolph Carter's hexes. He knows how to deal with these kind of, sort of creepy crawlies. These are the kind of jubblies that he knows how to handle. Little dash there. We can't Holy Lance. Sir Roderick dodging. I'm terrified of whatever that attack is, because if it's that easy to dodge, it must... I mean, when it lands, it must do something just unbelievably terrifying. Good solid strike from Sir Roderick. Are you unholy? You're a beast. We're not going to be able to stun you, so we may as well go for the judgment. Arguably, we probably should have thrown a heal at Randy, but I'm pretty sure Randy's going to be able to take care of this bad boy for us. A little facial stabbing. Yeah, another critical from Randy. And more stress relief. So we came out of that one positive in the stress total. Randolph Carter getting shit done for us. And some good quality treasure there. 1,000 gold. Our order is fine. Let's head back to it then. Continue walking. Also, I'd like to note that we got in that fight. We've gone one tile. One tile. Who wants to check out the knife rack? Ordinarily, this would be a job for Randolph Carter, but I think we'll let Jack check it out instead. I have no idea what one might use on a rack of blades. A torch seems like it would hardly be useful, so... What do we find? Ah, some food and a piece of jade. Alright, you know what we'll do with that food? We'll eat it. Little extra cash for... Oh, well, if we're digging around in a mysterious sack, that's Randolph Carter territory. Bam! Treasure, because Randolph Carter... The guy's like the gold bug from the Poe story. He just can't not find treasure. There are two things that Randolph Carter can do. One of them is, you know, woo all of the lovely ladies, because who can resist Randolph Carter? The other thing he can do is find fucking treasure. He can't not find treasure. I mean, even when he's not looking for it. It's right there, bam, at his fingertips at all times. We don't need to go to that room. Our scouting chance proving quite useful. Also, let's look at trinkets very quickly, because I'm going to forget. Well, never mind. I should have done that on my way into the dungeon. I'm going to try and remember on the way out. So, you know, if I don't remember, remind me. And by that, I mean, you know, you're going to be watching this well after it's too late to remind me, so... Maybe just saying it out loud will help me remember myself. Half-cocked Jack, why don't you check... You know, a pile of bones is really more Randolph Carter's bit. And once again, the treasure cat pulls through an extra shovel and some D's. He has a charmed existence, that Randolph Carter. Seriously, if you were lucky as Randolph Carter in real life, you'd go to the gas station, you'd buy a scratcher, you'd win, like, say, $2. You take that $2, you'd buy, let's say a quick pick lotto ticket, hit it for 100 grand. You'd take that 100 grand, you'd go out to Vegas, you'd buy your way into World Series of Poker. World Series of Poker, you'd win 10 million bucks after, because of course you would win every hand. You'd take that 10 million bucks, you'd go, I don't know, let's say throw it down on a roulette table, turn your 10 million, on a single spin, by the way, single number straight up, bam, then you turn that 10 million into 370 million. Once you get to 370 million, you go to an investment firm, and for some reason Warren Buffett's really interested. He takes your 370 million, turns it into $3.7 billion, and then you go buy a private island somewhere in the Mediterranean and live there for the rest of your natural days. That's what would happen if you were as lucky as Randolph Carter. Basically in that exact order, no deviation. And we're hungry. Fortunately, plenty of food available, so that's not a problem. We do have a trap here. Let's have Jack go for the disarm. Jack's got it done for us. Excellent. Nicely done. Gonna burn another torch here. We probably brought too many torches, honestly. Books. Books are intriguing. I've never burned a pile of books, but, you know, what books are supposed to do is burning a pile of books typically... Oh, no, wait, I'm thinking of scrolls. These are booked. You don't burn books. If you burn a pile of scrolls, it gets rid of a negative quirk. You don't want to burn books, ever. Let's have... It's got to be Jack. He's the only one who can afford the stress. A lot of times a stack of books will give you a ton of stress. We're going to have Jack read these books. Desiccated and unremarkable books. Okay, well, that's fine. Jack has, you know, just found the latest James Patterson novel. Yeah, I went there. James Patterson. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. I won't say he's terrible at his job, because he's not. I mean, you some good, solid journeyman writing. James Patterson, one of the world's most popular authors, so I'm probably in the minority on this. But, yeah, I think he's kind of bland. Not really my thing. Another trap here. Half-cocked Jack. Getting it done for us. 2 for 2 on the disarms. Half-cocked Jack hitting more free throws than Shaq ever hit in his entire career. Now, here's what we were talking about. This is a pile of scrolls. We're going to burn these. So let's find whoever has the most and the most crippling, the most in number and both the worst. Negative here. Negative abilities. That's kind of bad. Dud hitter, also kind of bad, but on a healer, neither of those things is really terrifying. God-fearing is not really a drawback much at all. Randolph Carter's God-fearing, of course, does not refer to, like, the single triune God, not the more common variety sort of Yahweh, Allah kind of God, but, like, gods in general, elder gods. Those are the kinds of gods he fears. Kleptomaniac, Dacnomania, some of those I don't really... Misses the Spot is really bad. I don't know specifically what Guilty Conscience does, and Known Cheat. You know what? Let's have Jack do it. Wouldn't mind Jack staying a known cheat, because he's a known cheat. Like, you know, straight-up criminal mastermind. Alright, so, well, not any longer. Thanks. Nice game. Nice trolling of me there, by the way. That was perfectly trolled. I said that's the one thing I wouldn't mind keeping, and BAM! There it goes. Alright. So this is going to be it then. Clearly, this is our final room. This is going to be a quick little run through the dungeon. Now, we do have 2 fights to get there, though. But treasure once we arrive. Let's hope these last 2 fights go nicely for us. Of course, Randolph Carter going to look in the box, because it's never Gwyneth Paltrow's head when Randy looks. I mean, there was a head in that box. Ooh, fuck, got some riff back on that. But not Gwyneth Paltrow's head. Looks more like Shakespeare's head. Which seems like it would be more valuable. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow's head, if you found that in a box, it's not to, you know, say that wouldn't be valuable, because Gwyneth Paltrow's head probably gets you a pretty penny. But I gotta imagine Shakespeare's head would, gotta imagine that would bring a quicker extra buck. Alright, so last gasp for Halfcock Jack. What the hell does that do? Alright, he gets bonus speed when his health below 50%. You know, that's actually pretty useful. So we have a fight in our next tile. We're gonna max our light level just to, increase the chances of surprising these enemies. Nothing too terrifying here, and these enemies are supplies. So we have 2 cultist gladiators and a swine spawn. Somebody is getting shot in the fucking mouth here. Booyah! Man, that was a shot to the mouth that would have done a porn star proud. That was Peter North right there. That's Peter North style load. Alright. Oh, Randolph Carter, not to be outdone, comes back with the 20 damage crit on the swine. And he carved himself up a sweet little piglet. It's pulled pork for the rest of the week, folks. We're going to be rolling in it. We can stun this guy, right? Yeah, he's actually not too terribly resistant to stun. Did it work? It did not. But, you know, it's not really a problem, because he still was surprised, so Randy's going to try and hack his head off. Didn't quite get it done, so we're getting rent for the old gods. Troubling, and we're not going to get a chance to heal that, because... yeah, let's just go ahead for the kill. So we are going to go into the last fight there, a little bit injured, with some blood on our clothes, but that's fine. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to tap old Halfcock Jack up with food. Same for Randy, and it looks like we may have over-prepared here, but we didn't spend quite 5,000, and we're going to get at least 5,000 for completing, plus what we managed to loot, which honestly is not a huge amount, although we have done pretty well on heirlooms. So let's put old Jack back in his lead spot so he can open up with another face full of hearty load for one of our foes. Burn this last torch here. And in we go. So this has been a pretty easy run through so far here. This is not looking good. Swine Reavers, Swine Spawn. Could you be stunned? He's actually pretty easy to stun. We can't Dazzling Light him though because he's too far back. Could judge him. Lucy Pevensey, of course, beloved of the Godlions, she is a little preachy judgy. It's just kind of the way she rolls. Yeah, you're pretty hard to stun. That Gladiator's not too tough to stun. Let's go for the Dazzling Light on the Gladiator. He dodged. Not surprising. Lucy's accuracy, not fantastic. She does have that torn rotator cuff. That injury is going to be plaguing her for the remainder of the season. I don't like Randolph Carter being in front. Getting vomited on, but dodging. That's fine. So we could do a duelist advance here. And yeah, that's the best bet. Take 9 damage and put him into Mr. Swine there. Rent for the old gods, but that's a miss. Our Butcher's Cut. That's the best shank of the hog, of course. The Butcher saving the best cut for himself. No fool is the Butcher. Little 6 damage for the spawn. Was hoping Randy could come up with a kill there, but no such luck. So we're going to Holy Lance the Cultist in back. Some solid output from Roderick Usher. Not a kill, but close enough. Our little swine spawn friend clearly had a little too much to drink at the pub last night. He's not maintaining it too well. Can't really hold his liquor can, the swine prince. Which is weird, because actually hogs love beer. If you give actual hogs beer, they really go to town on it. Who's getting point-blank shotted? I think you are, sir. Boom! Yes, right in the upper lip. A devastating blow. That man is doomed. Randolph Carter going to deal a little bit of doom of his own. Dazzling Light could get a stun or a kill, but Lucy continues her campaign of refusing to injure the enemy. So it's going to be up to Roderick here with a Jacques! Delivers the knockout and a little bit of damage for the Reaver. Let's do a duelist advance here. Bam! 9 damage, solid output. Lucy, just go for a straight-up judgment then. Holy cow! Lucy was saving up for the mission there. Now we know why she was missing earlier. Clearly, conserving her energy for one titanic, final crushing blow. Alright, and that's the mission, folks. Everything wrapped up nicely. Good number of deeds, good number of crests, reasonable amounts of gold. And, of course, we're going to have Randolph Carter check out this chest. We're going to use the key. Hidden compartment. 6 busts, 250 gold. So not our greatest haul in the history of our dungeoneering careers, but it is a mission in the Warrens that, for once, did not kick our teeth down our throat and laugh at us after it threw it off the monkey bars on the playground. So we'll take it. Nothing stings harder after getting thrown off the monkey bars and being laughed at by a bully. Nothing. Nothing. It's a bitterness that will haunt you for the remainder of your years, despite the fact that it happened when you were 7. Fuck you, Chad. Fuck you. And yeah, that Chad knows which one I'm talking about. He knows. 7,550 gold total reward, portraits, crests, other assorted deeds. We did pretty well, actually, in the heirloom department. Got some Resolve EXP as well. No one leveled up to 4, which is not really a problem. What is Diurnal? He's slower in the dark. That's not that big a deal. Slayer of Beasts is fantastic. Bonus accuracy and critical against beasts. So Roderick is now thick-blooded, which makes him more difficult to blight. And Lucy continues to collect irritating quirks like other people collect Pokemon. Or, you know, Beanie Babies or other things that people collect at prodigious rates. Baseball cards, whatever. She can't get enough. She's a hoarder, is what I'm saying. Madeline Usher had a nice night on the town, got 56 stress back, which is good because I have a feeling Lucy's ass is going into the sanitarium, and we're going to need Madeline to backfill that gap if we have a high-level mission. So let's take a look at some trinkets. First things first, well, you know what? Do we want to give... Lucy has trinkets. That's pretty good. Also pretty good. Actually, both of those are acceptable. So Lucy is covered in Trinket Town. We're taking her ass to the sanitarium for a little boost in mental health department. Torn rotator cuff has been irritating us, but it's not really huge. Dud hitter doesn't really... Again, not really a huge problem for a healer. We don't rely on her to do damage that often. Warren's phobe is a problem. Thanatophobia, also a problem. But you know what? I think Lucy may be spending a good long while in the sanitarium here. She's going to be locked up for basically the rest of her natural life. Sorry, Lucy, but the Godline has declared that you are criminally insane and that you must be punished for your crimes. So in you go. And then let's take a look at, we're going to have Madeline Usher then bumped up to A team. So let's take a look at some of our trinkets. I can't help but notice that Roderick Usher doesn't have a single trinket, and that we have lots of them. So let's look and see if there's anything we can get that's going to help him out. Stunning Satchel, none of these things are particularly interesting to him. Eldritch Slayer's Ring has, it's good in very specific instances, but I'm not a fan of it as a general item. It's for Hellions only. The Mood Ring is only good in the dark. Plus 5 protection, minus 8% damage. I don't really want anything that's going to lower my trooper's damage. Bonus dodge is nice, but Roderick's dodge is not fantastic, and really I don't want to bump his dodge in favor of losing accuracy. Roderick, we need him to hit as much as possible. Again, that's Hellion only. Not worth the accuracy penalty. This is interesting for Sir Roderick because it increases his scouting chance, and his speed is already so fucking terrible that he's almost always going to be last anyway. I think we will give him the Caution Cloak. That's a good fit for him. Another Protection Stone. That's going to be going on Half-Cocked Jack, without a doubt. Another Vestal item. Is that minus 4 accuracy? That's not that great. Light resistance. Minus dodge. Again, kind of a mixed blessing. Plus 1 speed, minus 1 crit. No thank you. Stun Charm. Quick Draw Charm. Plus 8 speed on the first round. Plus 5 speed. This is a fantastic... we just gave him a minus speed item, though, didn't we? Yeah, we sure did. First round, minus 10 speed. This is an excellent item, and it would be good for Sir Roderick, but since he's already got the cloak, let's not undo what we just did. Alright, so that's actually all of we have in the trinket department. I think Randy's just going to be wearing the cloak for now. Half-Cocked Jack, what do you got in Trinket Town? Let's take a look. Alright, so Jack is wearing the Drifter's Buckle, which is Highwayman only. He has a Swift Cloak. Let's get rid of that. That is not that great. We're definitely going to give him the Highwayman Sheath because it is fantastic. 15 extra dodge, which bumps Randy up to 40. An extra 3 speed, which is going to make him lightning quick. And minus 12% max hit points, which honestly, not a huge drawback. Not a huge drawback at all. And Half-Cocked Jack actually has 2 really good items, so he is sorted. Take a look at Randy. Can we do anything for the Randinator here? He has no trinkets. But we gotta have something that's better than nothing. His speed is reasonable. Having him go last is... After the first round, he would almost always go first. Which is interesting, because we're going to use him to sort of hex something. that's when we would want him to do it. We would want him to get off first, and then after that it would be less important. So that's a potential. Stun resistance at the cost of dodge. Gotta say, none of the rest of these items are really blowing my hair back. And he doesn't really use push or pull skills, so that's not really useful. We rarely run it that dark. This is just an objective benefit, though. In the dark, you get bonus stress relief. That's actually a very good item. Just not for us, because I don't typically run in the darkness. Yeah, no, none of... This is intriguing, but honestly, I think it would be better off on anyone other than Randolph Carter. I think we have other cultists who could probably make better use of that. Madeline has no trinkets. We're going to give her this Vestal-only item. I actually kind of like the Youth Chalice. Madeline already has a bit of a problem with hitting. But she can turn... She does have Faded, so she can turn misses into hits. That's pretty reasonable. Helps counter some of the penalty for that. And bonus HP is good for Madeline. Just help keep her alive to heal others. And I think that's probably all we're going to do in the trinket department. Again, that's very tempting. But having our Vestal go first is not really supremely useful. Alright, so that's got our A-team then, kitted out as best we can with heirlooms. We'll probably take a look at the heirlooms before we head into the dungeon once again on whomever our next team happens to be. But we will take a look at that next time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Your support does really mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see more Darkest Dungeon 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, feel free to subscribe as well and get more doses of death-based economic fun. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon.